So we got some interesting developments here. As you can see, it would appear that the Rams starting running back Cam Akers has indeed returned. It appears that he has now returned, and there is a lot to think about, a lot of different emotions for sure. So, as you can see, they designate Cam Akers to return from the injury list. Let's go ahead and get into it. As everyone knows, Cam Akers tore his Achilles in July while working out on his own before training camp, which was expected to sideline him for the entire season. Which generally, when someone tears their ACL, that you can generally bet that they'll be gone for the remainder of that season. But I mean, it apparently here on Thursday, ahead of the Week 16 game, the Rams went ahead and designated him to return from the non-football injury list. And by doing that, it opens up the 21-day window for him to practice with the team, pads and all, which is his first step to the path of playing this season. And I guess the rule being that the Rams will have a chance to activate him before the 21-day window shuts, at which point he can suit up for a game. So at any point during the 21-day window, the Rams can activate him, and then by rule, he can suit up and play in the game, in any of the games here. And as you can see, the Rams website seems to be excited there. Look at these clean white uniforms, man. I'm telling y'all, the Rams organization needs to take note that these white uniforms should probably be our standard away uniforms. That's just me. That's just my opinion. I don't hate the gray, but I just feel like the whites are... They just look better. They pop a little more underneath the light. So that's just me. But Sean expressed some optimism that Akers could return for a playoff run if the Rams made it, and it's looking like we're gonna go. We're currently the 5th seed. We're tied for first in the NFC West. Hell, we might even take the NFC West. By the way, by how we're playing now, so it's a pretty safe bet we're gonna make it, and it looks like Cam could get some playing time in those games. Now Cam's going to be awesome for us, dude. Cam is the whole package. He came from FSU. A lot of people around here really, really like him. He ran and got all kinds of yards despite FSU's O-line not being that great. He's extremely physical. He has a good burst. He's an all-around complete football player. So if we can get him back playing like he played last year, that might push us over the edge for sure to at the right time. And as you can see, he averaged 84.8 rushing yards per game in his final 5 games of the 2020 season and gained 221 yards on the ground in the playoffs. Yo, he looked so good in the playoffs last year against Seattle and the Packers. Like, he was coming into his own. He was looking real good. And he is the complete package. So, interesting. But a little bit more, they are unsure when he will return. And so he's not actually on the 53-man roster yet. They have 21 days to decide when he will take the field. But Sean is saying they're going to be smart with him, which I feel is the correct choice. We're going to go ahead and quote Sean here. Go ahead and highlight all this. Sean is quoted by saying, "We really just started his 21-day clock. It's not something that he's going to be ready to go this week. It's going to be a progressive build, a little bit different than some of these other guys, where you put them off that, you activate them, and they're immediately playing. So there are still some levels to this. We want to be able to check the boxes and be smart with him. So today's a hard gauge just because we didn't really do anything because some of the weather and things like that. Okay. This is really like a Tuesday in our players' minds. So we're really just starting that 21-day clock with him, and I'll be better equipped to answer that as we actually really as we start actually really doing things that are physical practice reps where he's been doing things in his rehabs that are much more tolling than what we did today. Okay. Okay. So he's not playing against the Vikings, nor should he, coming back so soon. But McVay is cautiously optimistic about last month. He says, Sean is quoted by saying, oh, he's a freak and a good one for the way he attacked his rehab and recovered so quickly. So Cam evidently took his rehab seriously, and he really was working hard because and Cam has the right stuff. In watching if you watch his interviews, he seems like has a really good head on his shoulders. You know, he's not overly emotional. He's very steady, which is good in someone so young like him. And he's a hard worker. So it's looking like he's gonna be good for us for a long time. And the fear is you don't really want to get him back too soon and possibly re-aggravate his injury and hamper him for the foreseeable future. You know, we saw that recently with one of our other running backs, Todd Gurley. Y'all remember him, who after his injury just wasn't the same. So that is the fear here. And, you know, McVay, as you can see here, he says, I always give him, let me highlight this. I always give him a hard time about those Russian gymnasts that were freaking making a comeback in about 5 months from the Achilles and performing in the Olympics. Oh dang, I didn't even know that. That's amazing if they're actually able to do that. That's crazy. Holy crap. But there are still 3 weeks left in the regular season. Although the Rams haven't clinched a playoff berth yet, they're on the verge of doing so. And they just need to win or tie in one of the final 3 remaining games. So if they win Sunday, they're in. So that should be the goal there. Now, my whole thing with this, good Lord, if here's the thing, if Cam is fully healed, which it's just kind of hard for me to believe he's fully healed at this point, but if he's healed enough to be, if he's cleared by the doctors, if the doctors say, hey, he's good enough to play football, if Cam wants to play and everything's looking like he wants to play, he wants to come back, then if the doctors say he's good, if he says he's good, if the x-rays say it's good, then let's bring him back then. As long as you're sure, think about this really hard. Really think about if you want to come back so soon. And I know there's been advances like in modern, the rehabs, and just the modern medicine is just a whole lot better than it was back in the day. So, coming back less than a year isn't all that unheard of. It's just, you just want to be sure you're not, you just don't want to re-aggravate it, So, but if you're willing to come back and if the doctors say you're good, let's bring them back. Screw it, but not screw it, but you know what I mean. And from Sean's perspective, if I were Sean, if he's really good to go and you're going to bring him back, I would kind of My suggestion is these final 3 games almost treat it uh, like a simulated mini training camp for Cam. Kind of make this his training camp window. You know, he missed training camp, so kind of do what you would have done in training camp with Cam back in July. Do it right now for the final 3 games. You know, get him the practice reps. Make sure he's getting reps on the field. Don't take anything away from Sony and Daryl though. Make sure he's getting reps. Kind of slowly integrate him, you know, in the practices. Make up his workload by each day. I know you know this. You know it better than me. I'm just saying. You know, just gradually work him in these final 3 games as the training camp, and maybe depending on how he's looking, depending on how he's progressing, maybe get him in, because I really want to see him in the San Fran game, bro. I want to pummel those goddamn 49ers, dude. Like with some power running with Sony Michel and Cam Akers, bro. That would be so good. Run the ball 40, 50 times if you have to. Because it's good. Just spoiler alert, it's going to be that kind of a game when we get to that. But right now, we're not too worried about that. I'm just saying, kind of have, I would say the benchmark is that the last game, the San Francisco 49er game of the season, make that like his preseason game where maybe you can give him a few touches here or there. Don't make him like the starting running back throughout the game. Kind of pepper him in there. I want Sony to be the starter. I think Sony has earned that starting role for right now. Cam needs to be peppered in there, and then you can kind of pepper him in through the playoffs as well. And hell, this is exciting because if we can get Cam and Sony going and just pummel these damn defenses and get them to really, really get them legs weak, get them slow, get them a little timid, and have them kind of crowd the line, that is when you can get Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson and Odell one-on-one and just bomb those damn things and have Matthew just bomb it over their heads. That's how you set up those big plays. And dude, if you have Cam and Sony, it's so exciting, dude. If you have them both on the field and they're just pummeling dudes, they're gonna crouch up to the line, and it's going to open things up. This is so exciting. This is so exciting, man. But you have to be so careful with this, Sean. Like this is. You really don't want to re-aggravate the knee, man. That would not be good. That would not be good at all. But the last thing he says here, let's go ahead and see what the last thing he says here. You want to be cautious, but I do see him being activated. He's earned the right, the way he's approached this rehab, things like that. Sometimes it can be semantics, but the anticipation is we're activating him with the expectation to be able to play. Whether we end up activating him this week and becomes a part of the 53, whether he ends up playing as part of the 48, things like that. But I do see him being activated for us. So, exciting. Sean, just be smart about it. If the doctors say he's good, if he wants to come back, then bring him back. You know, bring him back. Just make this like the final weeks like a mini training camp session for him personally. So, Cam, welcome back. I'm excited to have Cam back. If he can get really going in the playoffs, that would be ideal. So, very, very exciting. But we have to be cautious too, though, with this. Kind of gradually bring him along slowly. So, and I trust that Sean will. Sean's very smart. They have a good coaching staff. They have a good medical team. So I trust they'll do everything they need to do. So Cam, welcome back, man. Welcome back. So very exciting. That's going to be it for now. Merry Christmas to all y'all out there. Hope Santa brings you all kinds of presents. And that's going to be it for now, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. And as always, go Rams.